The next time you come across a basket of fruit, don't just eat it, have some fun with it first. In this project, we're converting any ordinary apple into a decorative and completely edible apple swan. Go find your basket of fruit and pick out an apple you think looks good. Now, using a sharp cutting knife, carefully cut the apple at a slight diagonal so that it slices right through the center of the apple core. While we're here, let's save 2 of the seeds because we'll be needing them later. Now that we've got our 2 halves, let's take the side that still has the bottom attached and place it face down on a cutting board, particularly with the top and bottom of the apple. Now we can carefully cut down along one side of the apple core until the knife bottoms out on our makeshift spacers, then use the spacers as a guide to gently cut in from the side. When the 2 cuts meet, you'll have an apple wedge that pops right out. And while we're here, let's cut a piece from the other side the same way. Now our goal with these is to cut out 3 more L-shaped wedges about a 1/4 inch thick. And this time, rather than cutting in sideways toward your fingers, try turning the piece over so you can cut downward and meet the first cut at the bottom. Now with a little wiggle, a new apple wedge should break free. If you repeat the process 2 more times, then stagger the pieces back together, the effect is a beautifully layered wing. Now just cut the other piece the same way and your swan's body should look like this. To make a place for the head, all we need to do is carefully cut into the front of the body and gently lift the pieces out to reveal a clean and fairly deep groove. All it takes to form the swan head is 3 strategic cuts with a knife. I made 1 angled cut to form the head, a horizontal cut to form the neck, and 1 slanted cut at the bottom for the base. Now you should be able to see how this is coming together, and to clean it up a bit, just use your knife to round off the sharp edges. All that's left now is to place the apple seeds where you think the eyes should go. When both eyes look good, simply drop the neck into place, and you're done. You've just created a beautiful and decorative apple swan. Then put it on display to show off for our dinner guests later that night. Well, now you know how to take any ordinary apple and turn it into a decorative and edible apple swan.
The word fruit makes one think of an apple, banana, or a mango. It is a fertilized ovary with seeds. However, certain fruits are formed without fertilization of the ovary and are therefore seedless. Such fruits are called parthenocarpic fruits, such as seedless watermelon, banana, and orange. Parthenocarpy can be a natural process or may be artificially induced. Once fertilization takes place in a flower, the ovary ripens to form the fruit and the ovules form the seeds. Typically, a fruit is made up of 2 parts, the pericarp and the seed. The pericarp is the fruit wall, and it can be thick and fleshy as in mango or dry as in hazelnut. In the mango, the pericarp is differentiated into 3 distinct layers. The epicarp, which is the outermost layer or peel, the mesocarp, which is the thick pulpy middle layer, and the endocarp, which is the innermost layer that directly surrounds the seed. Fruits such as mango and peach are also called drupes. Drupes are single-seeded fleshy fruits that develop from monocarpellary superior ovaries. Apart from the pericarp, the other part of a fruit is the seed. Based on the number of cotyledons, the seeds of flowering plants are classified as dicotyledonous and monocotyledonous. A seed with 2 cotyledons is called dicotyledonous, and with a single cotyledon is called monocotyledonous. In a dicotyledonous seed, the outermost covering is the seed coat and is made up of 2 layers, the outer testa and the inner tegmen. The seed coat also has a scar on its surface called the hilum, which helps attach the seed to the fruit. Above the hilum is the micropyle, a small pore in the outer coat of the seed. It is through the micropyle that the pollen tube enters an ovule. Inside the seed coat lies the embryo, which comprises an embryonal axis and two cotyledons. At the two ends of the embryonal axis lie the plumule and the radicle. The cotyledons are often fleshy and store reserve food materials. In some seeds, such as castor, the developing embryo is surrounded by a nutritive tissue called the endosperm, which stores food and helps the embryo grow. Seeds with endosperm are called endospermic. Whereas in seeds like mango, the endosperm is absent, such seeds are called non-endospermic. Like dicotyledonous seeds, the outermost covering of monocotyledonous seeds is also known as the seed coat. For example, the maize seed has a membranous seed coat that is usually fused with the fruit wall. Moreover, like dicotyledonous seeds, monocotyledonous seeds can be endospermic as in maize or non-endospermic as in cymodocia. The endosperm of maize is bulky and stores food, while the embryo is tiny and is placed in a groove at one end of the endosperm. The embryo is separated from the endosperm by a proteinous layer known as the alurone layer and is made up of a single large shield-shaped cotyledon called the scutellum. The embryo also has a short axis with a plumule and a radicle. The plumule is enclosed by a sheath called the coleoptile and the radicle by a sheath called the coleorhiza. Thus, seeds are formed from the ovules and help in reproduction, while a fruit is formed from the ovary and is the characteristic feature of flowering plants.
Later. 5 minutes later.